Okay, well, thank you very much mga kaibigan, mga kababayan ko dito po sa Malaysia, particularly dito po sa Sabah is Malaysia, and very specific dito po sa Kota Kinabalu. Ito po si Nico Fabian once again nandito sa NikTok, The Real Talk with Nico, and we'll be touching on some issues regarding ang political scenario dyan po sa Pilipinas, ang impeachment ni Inday Sara Duterte, ang updates regarding kay Tatay Digong, ang tatay ni Vice President Inday Sara Duterte, dyan po sa, sabihin natin, sa The Hague o sa Netherlands. Wherein si Tatay Digong is still under the custody of the International Criminal Court, dyan po sa The Hague. So yun ang mga topics that we're going to discuss again dito po sa programa natin. Hala, I hope everything is running smoothly sa inyo, and today is Tuesday, June 17 na po, no? June 17 na po. And apart from mga news galing sa Pilipinas regarding kay Tatay Digong, regarding kay Inday Sara Duterte, I'll be also touching some local news dito sa Malaysia and also a news regarding ang conflict or ang war between Iran and Israel. Excuse me, ha? So, unpredictable ang weather natin. Medyo mag-ulan yata dito sa Kota Kinabalu. And ingat lang tayo po, no? Ang mga followers ko who is watching my program at this very moment. Mga Filipinos, mga samahan, so mga Malaysians who are in KK, drive slowly, and in the event we are going to experience again another heavy downpour. Ingat lang po, jaga-jaga lang, ha? Jaga-jaga. When driving, medyo ano tayo, sandali. Okay, now let's start with our program by reading you or showing you itong news article which I got it from Inquirer.net dyan po sa Pilipinas. And this is involved about a Malaysian regarding po itong droga or regarding prohibited drugs or illegal drugs po. Now, the title of this news article from Inquirer, fresh na fresh po. Fresh na fresh, just less than 1 hour ago, I received this news, and the title of the heading of this news article is Malaysian allegedly smuggling 29.7 million pesos worth of shabu nabbed at the Ninoy International Airport. Last Saturday ito po, and it's only today na-release ang news dyan po sa Pilipinas. So, nandito ang detalles or details of this particular news article regarding a Malaysian who was arrested in possession of shabu or illegal drugs po, or we call it methamphetamine hydrochloride, or shabu, better known as shabu sa Pilipinas at saka dito po sa Malaysia. Okay, nandito po ang detalles, the details of this news article. A Malaysian was arrested for allegedly smuggling over 29.7 million pesos worth of shabu, methamphetamine hydrochloride at the Ninoy International or Ninoy Aquino International Airport or NAIA Terminal 3 in Pasay City. The Bureau of Customs or BOC said on Tuesday or today that its agent apprehended the passenger on Saturday after 4,368 grams of shabu valued at 29.7 million pesos was reportedly found in the foreigner's luggage. The BOC and NAIA made the arrest in coordination with the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency or PDEA and the NAIA International or Interagency Drug Interdiction Task Group. A combination of X-ray scanning, canine inspection, and detailed physical examination led authorities to a suspicious package containing white crystalline substance, the BOC said in a statement. Subsequent chemical analysis confirmed the substance to be methamphetamine, hydrochloride, or shabu, it noted. Yun po ang notisya po regarding itong Malaysian. The passenger was immediately placed under the custody of the PDEA for inquest proceedings. By this time, I think he's already inside the jail, no? Inside the jail and awaiting for his charges to be heard in court. The person is facing charges for violating the Republic Act number 9165 or the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002 and RA number 10863 or the Customs Modernization and Tariff Act. The illegal drugs were turned over to the PDEA after the arrest. Under the Philippine law, if you are found guilty by the court, then you will be slapped with a capital punishment. Wala tayong death penalty sa Pilipinas, but you will be jailed, jailed for life. Yun po ang capital punishment dyan po sa Pilipinas. In Malaysia, before we have this under 39B, it is death penalty po, likewise in Indonesia. But nakita natin po ang Malaysia is trying to go for pushing for capital punishment instead of death penalty. But at the moment, the death penalty pa po ang punishment for itong offense under Dangerous Act 39B. 39B. 39A, hindi pa yun po. Hindi pa yun hanging. But 39B is already hanging. Alright, yun po ang latest updates natin tungkol sa Malaysians who was arrested in Pasay City, dyan po sa Nino Aquino International Airport for possession of shabu worth something like 29,000.74 million pesos. Million pesos po, no? So, mabigat itong kaso niya, and let's see what will happen to this Malaysian. So, just as a reminder, I would like to say, we Filipinos, as well as other Malaysians and other foreigners, if you want to go and visit the beautiful places of the Philippines or in the Philippines, make sure that you don't bring illegal drugs with you to avoid unnecessary problems mo. Go to the Philippines and enjoy. Come to Sabah, come to Malaysia and enjoy the many beautiful things that this Malaysian country is offering to all the visitors. Likewise, go to Philippines and experience a different kind of holiday, but do not violate any laws in the Philippines as well as in Malaysia. Alright? So, the other article that I'm going to read sa inyo po regarding ang sitwasyon sa Pilipinas po, that will come later on. In the meantime, talking about Tatay Digong. Let's talk about Tatay Digong. Marami na mga haka-haka, speculations and all these things regarding the interim release or temporary release of temporary freedom requested by Tatay Digong dyan po sa The Hague or dyan po sa International Criminal Court. He has a bid for the interim release. Now, we have to wait. And there's no truth to all these speculations or talks or fake news that 100% si Tatay Digong will be released po or will be granted ang interim release. His bid, no? There's no such thing. And let's wait for the official announcement from the ICC and let's see whether he will be granted or not. But of course, a lot of Filipinos would like to know kung it's a wish of many Filipinos that he will be temporarily enjoy freedom po. Siguro that in the Philippines, but in other countries which is member of the ICC. And the countries mentioned like Belgium, France, Germany, saan pa yun? Netherlands. Kasi malapit lang yun po, nasa The Hague. So, let's see po, there's no timeline. There was no opposition on the interim release bid made by the party of, by the lawyers of Tatay Digong. And let's see po, let's wait. And I myself would promise you that once we are going to get the news, we will make it public or inform you immediately, especially dito po ang mga Filipinos sa Sabah or dito sa Malaysia. I might not be the first one to break the news, but there is one thing sure, that you will be informed the soonest possible time once mayroon ng breaking news regarding ang desisyon ng ICC Court whether to grant or not to grant ang interim release bid ni Tatay Digong. It's good for Tatay Digong to be granted ang interim release so that he will be a house to stay instead of being detained sa detention center dyan po sa ICC. Good for the court and good for Tatay Digong also po. No? And mayroon yung mga conditions na dapat in the event the court, ICC court will decide to approve the interim release bid of Tatay Digong, then Tatay Digong has to follow ang sabihin natin mga terms and conditions po, and violation of any terms and condition of this policy, then it means he has to immediately go back to the detention center. So far, mayroon na country po, although it was not mentioned kung anong country, it's not mentioned, but my country na po is willing to absorb, to absorb si Tatay Digong po while awaiting ang September 23 reading of charges ba yun or complaints sa kanya po, no? Official jump starting the trial of Tatay Digong, wherein my complaint po crimes against humanity, against humanity. All right, then let's move on to another topic. In the meantime po, when we talk about the interim release of Tatay Digong, siguro po, let's make it very clear again sa mga followers natin po. I have this, sabihin natin, footage I managed to record po. And let's listen to this po. Explaining to us, ano talaga itong ibig sabihin, interim release bid filed by the lawyer of Tatay Digong dyan po sa ICC. Let's listen to this.
Former President Rodrigo Duterte has filed a request before the International Criminal Court, not to escape judgment, but to await it in a different condition. He is asking what the International Criminal Court calls interim release, a temporary reprieve from detention while the proceedings continue. This is not an acquittal, not immunity, but it is recognition that even in the face of serious allegations, the law must act with fairness. Dili lang kay para sa biktima, kundi para po sa ginakusahan. Under Rule 119 of the ICC's Rules of Procedures and Evidence, interim release is only granted when the court is convinced that the accused will not flee from jurisdiction, not endanger the public or the victims, and not obstruct the investigation or trial. In this case, a willing ICC member state, not named in public, has offered to host Duterte under strict and enforceable conditions. But here is where the story takes a sharp turn. The prosecutor is not opposing the request. Yes, The very office tasked with building a case of crime against humanity has, instead of fighting the motion, stood back and allowed the legal process to breathe. That's not an act of surrender. It's an act of supreme legal confidence. As if to say, let him wait outside the walls. He's not going anywhere. But the prosecution didn't let it slide either. It asked for ironclad safeguards, electronic surveillance, strict travel limitations, and a cast iron guarantee that he will return to face trial. They are not letting go, they are tightening the leash. Mura siya bail, pero dili ni bail ang lahi ni. This is not like bail as we know it under Philippine criminal procedure. This is a mechanism of international law where sovereignty needs cooperation and justice walks a longer road. And what makes this all the more significant is that a former head of state, once immune by virtue of position, now submits himself to a foreign tribunal's processes. The irony is not legal, it is historical. Should the court grant this interim release, Duterte will still be under the custody of another state. He will not be free to go home. Dili siya makaulit sa Davao. Dili siya makasuruy-suruy kung asa siya gusto. He will live under conditions determined not by political allies, but by the international judges. And if he violates any of those conditions, the court may revoke the release immediately and order his retention. This moment is neither victory nor vindication. It is legal process at work. No shortcuts, no drama. Just the long, often quiet pursuit of accountability. Because international justice, as we now see, respects the dignity of every person, mabiktima man ka o giakusahan ka. And this is how it must be. We do not yet know how the judges will decide, but one thing is clear. This is not political theater. This is law, and law, even when slow, has memory. Another day, another regal POV.
Okay, yun po, narinig din na po ang explanation, no? Na this is not, sabihin natin, freedom na po. This is just a temporary freedom for Tatay Digong. Hindi ito drama, hindi ito politika, and the decision must come from the court itself. No? And let's see. Hanggang ngayon po, wala pang decision, and we are expecting, hopefully, by anytime this month or end of this month, ang ICC court will make a decision whether to grant ang interim release bid of Tatay Digong or not. But as what I said, karamihan ng mga Filipinos po, both sa Pilipinas, dito sa Malaysia, sa iba-ibang nasyon, especially mga overseas Filipino workers, they are shouting for Duterte to be bring back to the Philippines. But with this interim release bid, hindi po ibig sabihin na he will be returned to the Philippines. So yon po. And do not believe na mga fake news dyan po. May mga vloggers who are saying, or some people or individuals taking advantage of the platform, social media platform, to confuse ang mga Filipinos by saying na release na, or very soon mag-release na kay Tatay Digong. Hindi pa po, wala pang decision when we talk about this thing of interim release bid of Tatay Digong. Okay, let's move on to another topic, and this time around, I want to share with you another footage po. Medyo heartening po to listen to this news po. Mga tao, innocent people, children, senior citizens are being killed dahil po sa conflict between itong Israel and Iran po. And mayroon na po, I was meant to understand and it was officially reported na mayroon na po sa Israel, mayroon na reported 6 Filipinos became victims of this conflict po. 4 are outpatient victims and 1 is very or undergoing or experiencing a critical condition while the other one is still under treatment po, no? So, nandito po, I will share with you itong latest updates na mayroon tayo po tungkol sa gera or war dyan po sa Israel and Iran. And you can see ang mga missiles fired by Iran to Israel, Tel Aviv, and some areas doon. And Israel also firing ang missiles nila dyan po sa Iran. Let's listen to this video clip po.
Hanggang madaling araw ng Lunes, ang alingaw-ngaw na mga sirena sa Tel Aviv, Israel. Sunod-sunod na missile ang nagpaliwanag sa gabi sa gitna ng palitan ng pag-atake ng Israel at Iran. Ang iba sa mga missile na intercept ng defense system ng Israel, pero merong tumama sa lupa. Gaya sa lungsod ng Petativka, malapit sa Tel Aviv. Isang residential building ang tinamaan, 3 ang patay, at mahigit 30 ang sugatan. Paaralan at sinagog naman ang napuruhan sa lungsod ng Nebrak. Maraming apartment building ang nawasak. Nakuha ang bangkay ng isang lalaki at mahigit 20 ang sugatan. Isa pang napuruhan ang lungsod ng Haifa sa hilagang bahagi ng Israel. Kita ang usok mula sa refinery matapos ang missile strikes ng Iran. Ayon sa oil refineries ng Israel, nasira ang kanilang pipelines at transmission lines sa Iranian missile strikes nitong linggo. Nasa 30 ang sugatan sa lungsod habang patuloy ang search and rescue operations. Ang layunin ng Israel, pigilan ng Iran na lumikha ng nuclear weapon kaya tinarget ang nuclear at military facilities doon. Giit ng Israel, magbabayad ang Iran sa pag-ataking kinamatay ng di bababa sa 8 nitong magdamag. Nasa 100 ang sugatan. Sa kabuuan, di bababa sa 24 ang patay sa Israel sa mga missile attack ng Iran. Lahat mga sibilyan. Sa Iran naman, mahigit 200 ang nasawi, karamihan din sibilyan. Babala ng Iran, mas malala pa ang kanilang gagawin kung patuloy na titindi ang tensyon sa may giit na di sila gumagawa ng nuclear weapon. Isang Pilipinong caregiver sa Rehovot, Israel, ang nasa kritikal na kalagayan ngayon. Nataganan siya ng mga debris ng tinamaang gusali.
Naiipag po yung kanyang neck, yung kanyang leeg, and monitoring po ngayon kasi nasa ICU po siya.
Hopefully, she's able to pass the night para ma-stabilize yung condition, para pwede siyang operahan.
Isa pang Pinoy caregiver ang nagtamo rin ng matinding sugat.
Sinasabi lang, kailangan ng tingnan kung ano yung baka magkaroon ng life-changing impact yung sugat niya sa kanya once she heals.
Ang 4 na iba pang Pilipinong nasaktan nakalabas na ng ospital ayon sa Philippine Embassy. Ilan sa mga OFW roon nasaksihan ng tindi ng pinsala sa mga gusali.
Grabe, alas lahat ng building dito. Pasyo pinto. Puro basag yung mga pinto.
Nasaksihan din ang tubong gimaras na OFW na si Alden ang airstrikes. Sa ngayon, wala pang gagawing sapilitang pagpapauwi sa mahigit 30,000 Pinoy roon. Ang mga nakaschedule naman talagang iuwi at nais umuwi, sisikapin daw mayalis agad ng Israel sa lalong madaling panahon. At sakaling dumami pa raw ang mga nais umuwi.
We always stand ready for any eventuality, including mass repatriation.
Bukod sa Israel, meron ding 30 Pilipinong nagtatrabaho sa Iran.
Nobody has been adversely affected from in the Iranian side. Targeted kasi ang attacks naman doon. And we continue to hope and pray na again, humupa yung hidwaan na ito para wala nang further na maapektuhan o masaktan.
Ito ang Unang balita, JP.
Alright, yan po ang sitwasyon dyan po sa Tel Aviv or sa Israel and dyan po sa Iran. Exchange of missiles na sila po since, kailan ba yun nakumpisa? Friday yata yun, no? So let's hope and pray na ang mga kababayan natin dyan po sa Israel and dyan po sa Iran will be out from danger na po, no? Ingat-ingat lang kayo dyan. Dahil alam na nila natin kung may gera, ganun talaga po, we can be fatalities or casualties po, no? Sa gera. So sa Israel, we were made to understand na mayroon tayong a total of 30,000 Filipinos working dyan sa Israel. And hindi naman itong problema, but the thing is that sanay na po mga Filipinos po, no? Itong gera-gera yung sa Hamas, Palestinian versus Israel, ilang beses na po nag-experience sila ng exchange of missiles po, no? And many of them are not so keen to return back to the Philippines po, ha? Dahil you cannot blame them. Some are very devoted sa mga, especially itong mga caregivers, no? Devoted and loyal talaga sila sa mga pasyente nila, and that is the reason why they don't want to leave. Mayroon na parang nag-bonding na po ang pasyente at saka ang caregiver natin po dyan sa Israel. And I think same thing is happening dyan po sa Iran. And one more thing po, sabi nga mga Filipinos dyan sa mga haka-haka or mga news that we are receiving, na they're willing to take the risk dahil po if they go back to the Philippines, wala silang trabaho po and they lose the salary that they are earning ngayon po dyan sa Israel and dyan po sa Iran. So, but anyway, ang gobyerno natin, ang Philippine government is always ready to give assistance to those who wants to be repatriated po, no? Repatriated from the conflict or from the war between Iran and Israel. So let's all pray na matapos na itong gera po, and let's all pray that mga kababayan natin sa affected areas will be far from danger, and we hope that hindi lang mga kababayan natin at saka mga locals doon po, they will not be victims, no? Casualties sa gera na yan po. And let's hope ang mga leaders of both nations, countries, will come into a ceasefire and to avoid more casualties po sa conflict. So yan po ang latest developments natin tungkol ang Israel and Iran conflict. Okay, let's now go to itong sabihin natin impeachment trial ni Inday Sara Duterte. Impeachment trial ni Inday Sara Duterte. So, meron tayo dito po news article again coming from the Inquirer.net. Inquirer.net, and ang title ng news article is 16 lawyers defending Sara Duterte in her impeachment trial. Impeachment trial. Nandito po ang detalles. Vice President Sara Duterte has 16 lawyers defending her, with their defense team officially entering its appearance before the Senate Impeachment Court on Monday or yesterday. Senate Impeachment Court spokesperson Reginald Tonggol shared copies of the document indicating the formal entry of Duterte's lawyers, which was submitted to the Senate Impeachment Court at 5:03 p.m. It was received by the Secretary of the Senate, who is acting as the impeachment clerk of court. That was yesterday. According to the document, lawyers from the Fortune, Narvasa, and Salazar law firm will defend Duterte. As of 5:03 p.m., the Senate Impeachment Court, through the Secretary of the Senate acting as a clerk of court, received the appearance and from the law firm of Fortune Narvasa and Salazar to appear and act as counsel for Vice President Sara Z. Duterte dated June 16, 2025. The Senate Impeachment Court stated, the House of Representatives was indicated in page 3 to have been copy furnished as well as today at 3:42 p.m. but has not note tender copy refused to receive it. Yon po ang latest updates tungkol sa impeachment of Inday Sara Duterte. And this time around, I would like to share with you another clipping regarding ang impeachment trial ni Inday Sara Duterte. Let's listen to this.
16 defense lawyers, never seen before in Philippine impeachment history. The legal team of Vice President Sara Duterte has now formally entered its appearance before the Senate Impeachment Court. In a 3-page appearance ad cautelam, the law firm Fortuna, Vasa and Salazar officially announced its representation of the VP. A formidable legal wall not seen in 2 previous impeachment trials. VP Sara's team is a mix of senior names, family legacies, and young lawyers. Some are not new to high-profile proceedings. Philip Sigrid Fortun is a well-known litigator. Gregorio Narvasa II is the son of the late Chief Justice Andres Narvasa. Reynold Monsayac served as VP Sara's spokesperson and formerly a PCGG official. Michael Wesley Poa was VP Sara's former Education Undersecretary and Chief of Staff. The list goes on and include bar-qualified practitioners. In 2000, former President Joseph Estrada faced his impeachment trial backed by a smaller, high-profile defense team with former Chief Justice Andres Narvasa. In 2012, former Chief Justice Renato Corona entered the Senate trial with 9 prominent lawyers, led by retired Supreme Court Associate Justice Serafin Cuevas. There's no constitutional or procedural restriction that caps the number of defense lawyers in impeachment court. VP Sara faces 7 articles of impeachment, including graft and corruption and constitutional violation. The court is now waiting for formal filings from both defense and prosecution. The VP has been issued summons and is given 10 days to respond. Senate President Jesus Escudero reiterates that all communications should be made through legal pleadings.
Hindi sa pamamagitan ng press release, hindi sa pamamagitan ng meeting o caucus, hindi sa pamamagitan ng social media, kung hindi sa pamamagitan lamang ng pleadings.
He also rules out any private talks between the House and the Senate on the impeachment process. This when asked if President Bongbong Marcos can facilitate a dialogue between them.
Hindi ako naniniwalang isang bagay ito na pwedeng pag-usapan sa loob ng isang silid na sarado ang pintuan. Impeachment court ang Senado. Prosecutor ang Kamara dito. Hindi ito bicameral conference committee na batas ang pinag-uusapan. Hindi kami magkalibel sa isyong ito. At hindi ito pwedeng pag-usapan sa loob ng silid na sarado. Lahat dapat ginagawa in the open, in the name of transparency and accountability.
For now, the filing of the defense team's appearance is a signal that VP Sara's camp is preparing for a full legal fight.
Alright, yun po ang latest updates regarding ang impeachment trial ni Inday Sara Duterte. Yun po ang problema ng Pilipinas, no? Ang dami tayong problema, left and right, ang pagkain, ang bigas, ang transportation, wages, salary wages ng mga tao, peace and order, political stability, economic stability, ang dami po. And let's hope na we will be able to overcome ang mga leaders natin po, especially newly elected leaders sa gobyerno po. They will do their part. They will do their part and address these problems we are facing ngayon sa Pilipinas. Ano ba ang grassroots ng problema ng impeachment ni Inday Sara Duterte? One is power. They want to remove Inday Sara Duterte dahil po because of power. The other one is ang issue nila yon pera. Money is the ang problema po. They are trying to make it appear that si Inday Sara Duterte is corrupt. And he misused ang confidential fund ng Office of the Vice President, no? Office of the Vice President ba yun? Or ang Education Department po, no? When he was the Secretary of Education. 125 million. Ano yan po? And she spent it for 11 days lang po, no? Days before ending ang year. And because of that, may mga issues na. They are saying na corrupt daw si Inday Sara Duterte, na ito. And ang COA mismo po, Commission on Audit, saying na clear na po si Inday Sara Duterte in some of the items mentioned in the report ng COA dyan po sa Office of the Vice President. Yet, there are still people who are trying to make it appear na may anomalya po. Anomalya. May mga problema tayo po tungkol ang sa pera-pera po. Ang gobyerno wants to be in power, remain in power po, and they are using pera po to convince ang mga fellow lawmakers to support them and entice ang mga Filipinos po by giving money, by giving ayuda po sa mga Filipinos. But based on what the result of the midterm election po, it was they were not successful po. Pera ang root of all causes po, no? And mahirap na po because of money, ang trust will also be affected po, no? May mga tao dito sa mundo, not all man siguro, pagdating sa pera po, parang Diyos na sa kanya. That even willing to destroy ang reputasyon ng isang tao dahil lang po sa pera. Bastin na itong tao na po, yung tao na po na inosente, but they will try to convince other people, destroy the name of this individual or group of people. Because by using money, no? By using money, accusing them that they use the money, they stole money from the government, they stole money from their own relatives, no? Only to destroy ang reputasyon ng tao. That yung mga tao po, very sincere po, and they are trying to build their good names, but because of this selfishness, carelessness, ng itong mga accusers po, kawawa din yung tao who is trying to build up his name. And all of a sudden, in just a blink of the eye, ang efforts niya to preserve, protect his reputation, nawala po. Nawala po. But anyway, let's leave it to God po. No? God knows everything. God knows everything. Huwag natin mag-away-away dyan. Let God, for as long as your conscience is good, no? For as long as your conscience is good, your conscience is clear, just leave it to God. Just do the things that ito mga biktima should do po. No? So, siguro hanggang dito na lang ang NikTok, The Real Talk with Nico for this episode, June 17 tayo po. And I'll make sure po anything updates, breaking news regarding ang interim release bid of Tatay Digong, ang any sabihin natin breaking news or developments sa impeachment of Inday Sara Duterte, I'll make sure that you will be properly informed. Likewise, whatever developments po dito sa Malaysia, particularly dito sa Sabah, related to the Filipinos or mga Malaysiano po, and also news coming from international countries, I will make sure that you will be properly informed. In the meantime, ito po, si Nico Fabian, once again would like to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day today. Malaysia, Sabah, the Philippines, God bless us all. Take good care of yourself and leave everything to God. Bye, and see you in my next episode.